It is streaming on some. There we go. Good to go. Firing it up.
Wow.
Playing us in.
Do it.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
I do enjoy that intro.
I still love it. It's so much. So,
All right. Well, hello, everybody. As you heard from the intro that we were just discussing. Oh, yes. Yes, Zoom. It's okay that it's being streamed. It's all right. This is Earl and the Idiot. On this show, we have Earl over there. Earl, say hi to the people. Yo.
hi.
And he is the evil marketing genius. And you expanded. You're not just a marketing genius anymore. You're just sort of a general business genius.
Yeah, people still like my marketing hacks, but I'm more of a business consultant these days for the last 3 years, I guess. So yeah, it's been overarching business now. So
all right. How about that?
The hat was already printed. The hat was already printed, so we got to go with
the
marketing genius. Do I need to switch?
Throw away your hat.
Yeah. Well, I printed two of these custom stupid things, and they're fitted to my head, so I don't really want to throw them away now. So
you can be more than one thing. You can be a marketing genius and a general business genius. I think if you're a genius at marketing, you can probably just do just about anything. Just hire someone to do the work.
I guess, yeah, true. It's weird. I'm hiring other marketers now because I'm so busy on the businesses. I can't do the marketing anymore. So I hire people and they do the marketing, and I just coach them now. So it's weird.
Sounds like success to me, man.
Well, it's weird. It's a weird transition. It's like you're a basketball player, then all of a sudden you're the coach for the basketball player. You don't play ball no more. It's like weird. Like I'm not doing the marketing anymore. I'm like, holy crap.
I think that's how it's supposed to go, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
I
can't remember. I read it somewhere. It sounded really profound. It was level 1, you sell your tools, so you do the work. Level 2, you sell other people's tools, and then they do the work, and then you manage them. And then level 3, you sell your systems. And I kind of skipped level 2, and I just went straight to 3. And so it's just weird. I'm like, oh, that's so. It feels awkward, right? It's like I should be the one making the LinkedIn thing do the thing, right? It's like no. Now we have staff to do that. So yeah.
It's like that. It's like that thing there. You first you believe in Santa Claus, and then you are Santa Claus, and then you look like Santa Claus.
Yeah. Also very profound. Sadly,
yes.
I can. This is me. I haven't shaved in 2 weeks now, and that's all the hair I've grown. So I will never
I just shaved this morning. 3. No,
I will never achieve stage 3. I don't think it's possible. Like I shave till it's clean, and then this is me after 2 weeks of doing nothing. So I don't think I'm ever going to grow up and hit stage 3, my friend.
Oh no,
it's
terrible.
I will never look like Santa Claus. So yeah.
So okay, I somehow got sidetracked in the middle of my introduction, which is pretty much par for the course for the way we do things around here.
Yes.
We have Earl, the marketing etc. genius, and I'm here to ask the stupid questions to get him to give the smart answers. And what AI tells us to ask questions about, or right. what we tell AI to tell us, to tell you, to tell Earl, to tell me to ask questions about.
At this point, it's just two dudes running commentary on AI's thought process. So
yeah, exactly. I guess I should amend my intro. So we ask AI a business question, and then we discuss whether AI's got it right or wrong, and add Earl adds his 2 cents. I add my tuppence, or that's 2 cents, isn't it? I'm trying to think of what's less than half a cent. A halfpenny, half a penny.
Halfpenny, yeah.
Before we dive right into it, any news from this week? Any exciting
oh my God,
things going on?
Everything
busy
is
week,
going. So I made this bet many moons ago with two of my students, to first one to a million wins. And just to be, funny, I thought, well, why don't I launch 10 businesses to see how many times I can lap them?
Hmm.
And it's working. And all of them are working. And I'm like, oh crap. And all of them are working at the same time. So I'm kind of freaking out at the moment.
Hmm.
So yeah. We
Hence why
we
you're
we
hiring
have
so many marketers.
Oh yeah. So we're taking over the fancy yacht event. So the events that used to cancel the show that were run by my buddy, we're slowly going to take over those. So like just that's it. We're taking over that now. The business network media, the sign that we have going, the newsletter has finally started. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We're growing like crazy. I think I'm at like 1,000-ish subscribers on LinkedIn, so I'm just going to transfer them all over to the new newsletter. And then so I think we're at 1,002. So that's always good. So now we can actually monetize the damn thing. And then we have an accountability group that's been growing like wildfire. We have like 90 new facilitators. It's kind of insane. We went from like 12 to 90. So now we're gonna push that thing and launch that thing. The SEO firm is doing well. The AI firm is doing well. It was a complete joke. I used AI to build an AI, to write an AI copy, to build a website in AI, to sell an AI for fun.
What?
And now it looks like that might be hitting like, potential seven figures. So I'm like, oh my God, everything's working. At the same time, crap. And so now I haven't been sleeping. So yeah, everything's going. So I'm madly building systems so that I don't die. So
We should make a show about at least one of these activities.
one of
To make a
these
show
things,
where we
yeah, sure.
discuss what you're
I
what
can
you're
I
up
can
to with these things.
share and showcase some of the stuff. Hell, we'll just showcase the newsletter because that's right now the most fun one. So
Yeah. It's
yeah,
also the
and
one I am most directly involved in and will most be benefited by. So to the
exactly. So
degree to which
hence
I
why I
can
said,
run what
let's
we
go
talk
do
about on the
that.
show, I can choose that.
So hey, maybe next show we'll do that. Um, yeah, we'll just ask it how to grow a newsletter and then showcase ours. um yeah, and it's just been insane. I don't know what to tell you. It's been going crazy. So everything is going well. I am the head of sales at a group called the Cryptopolitan, and I had a theory of structure for like infinite lead systems, and it's going great gonzo. So it's almost broken the system to the point where I can, in a month I won't be able to handle it. I'll have to hire 3 staff to replace that. So it's insane. Like everything's working. So all these, I feel good. I was experiencing, what is it called? Imposter syndrome for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
I was experiencing because
Mhm.
I'm human too, right? So it's like, so
Yeah.
for a while, I'm like, can I do any of these things? Am I actually worth any of this stuff? Am I really good at this? And so I took I have an accountability group that I talk to every morning at 8 o'clock, and they all kick my ass. And then they said, well, go look at what you're doing. Is it real or is it not? And well, I guess it's real because I'm watching it grow. And so I finally got the monkey off of my back. Um, and everything's gone crazy since. So I don't know what to tell you. It's just everything's going at the same time. And so I built 10 businesses because I thought seven would fail. So, and
Mm.
so far none of them are failing, and they're all growing at an exponential rate. So I don't know what to do with myself now. It's just I stopped sleeping and here I am. It's like, oh crap, they all worked. Uh-oh.
This would have something to do with the fact that this is why the today's show ideas came in last minute, I guess.
Yeah, I've been in back to back to back meetings the last little bit, so it's been crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna get you to read the thing because I got to switch my headphones out really quick. These ones are dying. So why don't you go ahead
Okay.
and read today's AI prompt?
All right. So, acting as a marketing and business expert, I'd like to know best practices around launching a mobile app or browser plugin in 2024. What are 3 things to do, 2 things to avoid, and one red hot tip to really get more people to download the app, the plugin, and growing a community around the tech. So, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be in the app space pretty deep, right? We launched a bunch of like the Disney ones, and I'm not supposed to talk about this on stage, but I a very very prominent coffee company, a very prominent shoe company, and a very prominent TV and cell phone company because I'm not supposed to say the words. So I don't know how long the NDA is for. It's been years, but anyways, so if you can read
We're
between
back.
the lines, you can figure out which one of these companies are. But so we launched like 3,000 apps, and that was 10 years ago. So now, like I'm curious as to what the AI thinks are best practices to build and launch these mobile apps and browser plugins. So I'm curious. I haven't read them yet, so I have no idea what's coming down the pipe.
All right. And apps is an area I know nothing. I mean, I know how to use an app, obviously, but
Hmm.
in terms of making, managing, launching an app, I've never done it. I've never touched it. I wouldn't even know where you go to start building the app. I mean, I guess I hear now that AI will just do it for you.
Yeah, AI can write apps now. I have a buddy who just launched an app, didn't write a single line of code, but he's a coder, so he knows what to ask the AI. But the AI did all the heavy lifting. So, last I checked, AI now works at the level of an intermediate to an advanced coder, it's right off the hop. So as long as you're asking it the right questions and giving it the right architecture, it can build like some pretty hardcore stuff. And I'm like, wow, like because I used it the other day to write a piece of code because I haven't written code in like 20 years. Um, and I look at it and I asked it for something rather difficult, and it just here you go, like holy crap, that would have taken me like hours to write before. So now this is great. I might actually consider writing. I'm not, but I almost considered writing code again. So
It's well, I find for me with AI, like I use it for web design. I've started using it for web design. Um, and I don't know, maybe coding is better, but with web design, it'll sort of be like you can get an idea out of it. You can be like, make me a section on this web page that does X or looks like Y, and it'll do it for you. I usually end up changing everything, or sometimes just totally rebuilding it, but it at least gets me moving. I mean, it kind of just makes a suggestion, and then I go, "Oh, that looks good," but gives you something to start with.
as opposed to staring at a blank screen. Um,
Yeah.
I've been using it to piss me off, which is hilarious.
Huh.
So
Okay.
there's a trick. If you want to get the answers to something, put the answer that you think is and make sure it's absolutely wrong on Reddit,
Mhm.
and
Right.
the entire internet will correct you. Would giving you all the good advice. So you say, "Oh, I'm the master of everything. Here's how I do this. Da, 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 I'm smarter than everybody." And then and then everybody will tell you that you're an idiot. And hey, here's how to actually do it. And then you get a bunch of answers. So
Hmm.
I use AI to put that stuff up there. And because AI is not quite there yet for like copywriting or like just certain things, you go, oh no, and then you tear it all down, and because it's all wrong, it convinces me to do it, and then it gets my ass off the couch, which is so hilarious. So yeah, you just throw it up there. It's like, oh, it's all terrible, and then you fix it. It's for some reason fixing stuff is better than a blank screen. I don't know why.
Mhm. Yeah, it's easier to correct something that exists than create from scratch.
Even if it's all wrong, so like it's almost worse where you have to tear it all down and then build from scratch. But for whatever the impetus is behind it, it's just like, well, no, I have to fix this because it's broken. So yeah, so maybe we all have a little bit of OCD.
It's one of those things. There's another thing someone said where it's like if you're having trouble making a decision, flip a coin, and then your emotional reaction to what the coin says will tell you what you should have picked anyway. Like you go, oh damn, it picked this one. You go, oh, I guess I really should have picked the other one then. Then you can go ahead and ignore the coin at that point.
Right, but the emotional response is it's interesting as human beings, the emotional response piece. I know AI doesn't have that problem, but it's funny how the emotional response piece gives you the true answer, which is it's a fascinating thing, right?
Mhm. Okay, let's before we dive into this, dive straight into it. We're at the 20-minute mark. Yeah, we are. Um, um, what businesses should use an app? Like, what's the broad view here? What kind of businesses should have an app? What kind shouldn't? Like, there's lots of times I'm like, like you want to order something, like, oh, you have to download our app for that. Like, oh, give me a break. You know what I mean?
Right. It's called the Google test, and the Google test is really simple. Google doesn't do anything that doesn't. So it's the Google toothbrush test. Okay, so the toothbrush test is you brush your teeth twice a day, once when you wake up, once before you go to sleep, right? Because you usually at lunch you're running around doing stuff and you don't have time to brush your teeth. So it's called the toothbrush test. If you will not use this thing twice a day, Google doesn't want to build it. And that's the exact same premise you should look at for building an app. right?
Hmm.
For most people, I actually want to dissuade you from building an app because,
Mhm.
if your app doesn't force me to want to jump out of bed and use it twice a day, don't make it, because you're up against some giant players in the market who do create an app that makes you want to use it twice a day. So a business partner of mine just asked me, "Hey, Earl, I found this great idea for an app, blah, 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 blah." I'm like, "Cool. Toothbrush test. It failed." So now he's trying to figure out how to make it pass the toothbrush test. So if it can pass the toothbrush test, absolutely yes. If it can't pass it, it's not worth it. The amount of time, okay, the app itself to build is challenging enough. In this day and age, it's a little easier because of AI, but it's not the app itself. It's getting people to download it and then getting people to not uninstall it.
Mm.
So those are the two biggest things, right? Like I downloaded an app in 3 seconds. If it looks ugly or I can't figure out the interface and I need to look at the manual, nope, you're gone, right? So yeah, and so users are super fickle, right? Myself
I
included. I
I download apps and then I find them annoying or I only need them for that one thing, but I leave them on my phone forever. I just like never, I'm like, God, maybe I'll need it later. That's my attitude on a lot of things. Maybe I'll need it later. You should see my storage locker.
I'm also that terrible. I have pages and pages of apps that I've never used in like the last 5 years. But
Mm.
I'm actually planning on doing a cleanse one day and just dumping all the ones that, like, there's a bunch of crap, because if I buy a new iPhone and I have to move all this crap over every single time, right? It's stupid after a while. So why do I have all this stuff? So yeah, it doesn't make sense to use every single one. So I'm starting to delete them now. So yeah.
Yeah, like my banking app. I don't need it. Like I
Hmm.
just go to the website and I go online, do everything on the website. I only have the app because you can deposit checks. You know,
Yes,
you
on
take
the
a
app.
photograph of the check. Other than that, it's like, do you want to use the app or the mobile website? I'm like, just take me to the website. It's fine.
Yeah, right, right. I like the app because it fits in the screen better, and my eyes are old. So when I look at stuff, it formats the stuff better on the mobile app than it does on the mobile site for whatever reason.
Hmm.
It just does. So when I'm sending
You
an
can fix that.
e-transfer, when I'm sending a wire, da, 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 I know they can fix it, but they haven't.
Hmm.
Right? So, all five major banks, I use all of them. Shame on you. So
Huh.
yeah, make your mobile experience better. Then you don't actually need an app.
First, checking the toothbrush test before you even bother making it in the first place.
I use
Here we go.
banking apps. I use the banking apps twice a day on each account because I have to move money a lot. So
Hmm.
I actually do use it twice a day. So depends on the user, right? If you're a power user and like I send wires and I pay people in different countries and da 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 da. So it's like, all right, well, it's a pain in the ass, but hey, it's faster on the app than it is on the mobile site.
I definitely don't.
Hmm.
Once a week, if and once a month, maybe. All right.
Well, I'll
So what do we?
fix that for you. I'll make you more money, and then you'll have the same problems I do.
Yeah, I hope I have that problem very soon. All right. Three things to do. One, prioritize user-centric design and functionality. Well, duh. Ensure the app or plugin solves a clear problem or enhances the user's experience. Focus on a simple, intuitive user interface and smooth user experience. Gather feedback early by releasing a beta version to a small group of users, then iteratively improve based on real world insights. I gotta take a step back from this. Try using it yourself.
No,
I so many apps, so many.
absolutely no. Don't
Hmm.
no, don't do that. So,
Okay.
because the
This is
person
why
who
I'm an
makes
idiot.
the person who makes the app is usually a nerd, right? And because they're usually a nerd, it's like, oh yeah, you just go to this thing, grab this field, copy this thing, stick it over there, da da da. It's easy, right?
Yeah.
Like 37 steps later, like, dear God. And so I talked to one of these guys. Again, lovely, lovely human being, brilliant mind when it comes to development, but absolutely terrible UX UI. It was probably the worst I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever used. And so when you're doing structure, you want to go to the lowest common denominator, and you want to have the least number of clicks with the least number of required instructions. And if you require anything more than 3 or 4 taps, you have failed, right? For the vast majority of your app, you should be able to get access to it within 3 or 4 taps. Because if you don't, all the other big boys are playing this exact same game. So if you take longer than 3 or 4 taps, you lose. So what we used to do was we actually used to map out apps. We would actually take a screenshot of every single screen on an app, and then this button goes to here, and that button goes to there, and this button goes to there. And anything that was anything that was higher than 3 or 4 taps away, the usage of it fell off a cliff, right? And so, why do we keep that server running for this thing that, all of 3 people out of a million use, right?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Right.
what the funny thing is, we moved the interface from deep, deep dark in the corners of the settings to up front and center. And all of a sudden, we almost had to press release a new feature release because everyone was so bloody excited. They're like, oh my God, it's a new feature. Been buried in the stupid UI 17, it was 17 taps. Oh my God. It was 17 taps away. And no one ever
No.
used it. No one knew how to get to it. Remember the day you and I complained about where the hell is the Facebook button? Same idea,
Yeah.
right? It's like, where did
Right.
they move this stupid thing? So we took something that was literally 17 taps away, put it into like the 3 or 4 tap range. Everyone lost their damn mind. They're like, hey, this is the best thing since like, oh my God, it's been there since day one, right? And so we actually had to do a press release going, hey, by the way, we moved this button. It's over here now. Everyone use this. And then everyone went nuts. I can't say the name of the company, but like that's what I'm like. So when it says prioritize user-centric design and functionality, here's a homework fun thing. Map all your competition and see what they have that's like 17 taps away, and then steal it. And then put that 3 taps away, and you are the new best thing since sliced bread. And everyone will praise you as a hero and a god among men. It's like really? That's it? That's all it takes? Yeah. So, and this was a funny exercise. So you can totally do this. Like I said, we made like 3,000 apps. So this was a regular daily practice in our camp. We're like, hey, I'll map that stuff out. So an intern would go map it. And then we would just count the clicks to the thing. And then we would laugh at the ones that were like 34 taps away. It's like, huh, no one's ever gonna use that one.
All right. I guess I should amend what I said. Don't try to use it yourself first. Try to pretend you're a user and try to use it.
No,
Maybe
make your
maybe not
grandmother
everyone
use
can
it.
do that.
Make your mother
Yeah,
use it. Seriously,
yeah.
like take someone
Yeah.
who's like literally a generation or two older than you and get them to use it without an instruction manual. Tell them this is what the app does. This is what I'd like you to do. Hand it to them and don't say anything and see what they do. If they can figure it out, it's intuitive. If they can't figure it out, back to the drawing board, rehash your UX UI if that's an important feature, right? And it's got to be without instructions. So that tells you inherently there's architectures in apps like, a hamburger menu. When you push that little 3-line thing, it opens up and look, there's stuff inside. And if you make that weird, oh my God, there was this one German company. I'm not going to name names. It was this one German company. They had the worst button design in all of human history. Like they wanted to have their own custom buttons for everything. And they actually had a red button to make something go. Guys, green means go, red means stop. Good Lord.
Yeah.
And the owner was just like, no, I like it this way. And it's like, oh God, no one knows what the hell to do. And so, yeah, I think they've had an overhaul. I hope to God they've had an overhaul since.
Huh.
But man, like, like there's, the little floppy disk button, just the hit save. That's what save
Yeah.
is supposed to look like, not some guy opening a garbage can, right? Like, or there was some dude opening a filing cabinet and no one knew what the hell the save button would look like, and no one could save anything. And I'm like, that's good. So
It's like that thing. Someone had an actual floppy disk, and a kid was like, "Oh, you 3D printed the save logo."
oh yes, I felt instant old at that point.
Yeah.
So there you go. But yeah, like use standard, procedure for stuff so that you don't have to write a bajillion manuals for anyone to do things. So yeah, there's a standardized button, and there's standardized color architecture. Green, yellow, red means go, slow down, stop, right? Don't flip it because you're trying to be cute. No one will know what the hell you mean, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, there's a red button pet peeve of mine. Like, don't make the go button red.
It's okay, Earl. It's okay. All right. We'll
I think I should go to therapy for us.
Yeah. You're clearly dealing with some past trauma. All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Implement strategic. This is number 2. The next thing: implement strategic partnerships and integrations. Collaborate with brands, platforms, or influencers that cater to your target audience. Integration with popular services or social media channels can make your app plugin/plugin more appealing. Plugin. For example, integrating with Google Workspace or Slack for productivity could increase adoption among users who are already on these platforms. This seems like It should be later down on the steps. Or am I wrong?
Not necessarily, because to be able to get your app onto the market, if you were to collaborate with somebody, again, it depends on the complexity level of your app. If your app is super complex, maybe don't do this on day one. But if your app is relatively simple and you collaborate with somebody and it does a good thing, yeah, man, go buck wild. Like I just downloaded a brand new browser plugin that lets you do canned responses on emails off of Gmail. So, this thing is maybe like a month or two old. So it's not that new or, not that old. And then you use it, but it worked right away. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So if you can use it to plug into somebody else and piggyback off of somebody else's infrastructure, then absolutely yes. And where you get the ideas for this is just list the stuff that pisses you off, right? Anything that's rote or manual that you have to do over and over and over again. Maybe there's a button that if you could invent that button, your life is good again, right? And if you made $5 for every person who ever downloaded that button, dude, like a million downloads is $5 million, right? You can retire now. So, it's that easy. Understanding, just people's frustrations, just build it off of your own. But yeah, so build it off of your own, integrate it with a partner. Boom, just like that, million users.
Genius.
I wish I knew this back then. I wish I knew this 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, we were struggling for this kind of stuff and no one talked about this.
Should have asked the AI. What were you thinking? All right, let's see. Number 3, optimize for app stores and SEO. Sure. For mobile apps, app store optimization. I never come across that word before. I told you I work in the world of websites, but not in the world of apps. So, app store optimization, ASO, is crucial. Make sure your app has relevant keywords, a compelling description, and high quality screenshots and videos to enhance discoverability. For browser plugins, focus. Why is it giving us browser plugins?
Oh, because I asked for both plugins and apps.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't actually read the prompt this week. So,
yeah.
Focus on search engine optimization and ensure your landing pages are indexed properly with clear calls to action, great reviews, and consistent updates signal reliability and keep users engaged.
I have 2 friends who have agencies and all they do is ASO. So all they do is app store optimization. So there's a bunch of really cool hacks that you can do for ASO. Actually, here's a mini hack of the week that I just came up with now because people don't know this, right? So there's a group called BlueStacks, and BlueStacks is a gaming function, right? So you can run Android apps off of your computer or Android apps off of your other your laptop or whatever. And so if you're building a game and you end up featured on BlueStacks has like, I don't know, 70 million followers or something crazy. And if you pay for it enough, you can just be on the front page of all BlueStack stuff. I don't know if they still have that as an option, but you do that, all of a sudden your game just goes boop to the top. It's very similar to Amazon store optimization, right? So if you have a best-selling book, you just have X number of people buy the book at the same time at the same hour, and all of a sudden the algorithm goes, well, people like this thing, must be a bestseller, and then you get best-selling status. So the same kind of thing works with mobile apps. There's some dude in China with like 87 phones attached to this thing, and he just, okay, you want to ASO your thing? Watch this. He downloads your app on every single phone with a different SIM card for each one, and all of a sudden, everything goes to the moon. So clearly, that's black hat. So maybe not do that if you care about your app. But there's other similar architectures that you can do, right? And if you're gonna do that shit, do it under a firewall so they can't catch you. But yeah, so I was
gonna say, they don't notice that it's a whole bunch of people in one spot, or you've got VPNs to make it look like that.
So VPN that stuff, make that really go. And that's kind of it. So you do all those things. So ASO is a real thing. There's people who that's all they do all day long. Yeah, and it's kind of neat. So yes, absolutely agreed. And yes, that's a real deal. That's a real thing. So,
and just bottom line, this is how people discover your app and start using it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how you end up being on the featured apps, right? So Apple, Google, whatever feature you on their featured apps because a bajillion people download it. They go, hey, this must be good, right? So I'll give you a funny one. We had this when iPad 1 came out, which completely dates me. There was no app that would record your voice and a drawing at the same time. So back in the day, we had this app called Scribby, and it was a happy little pencil. And the funny thing is, because all the different stores are different, we ended up being, I think, top 10 in Italy or something like that for apps because it was a funny little app, and apparently Scribby means something Italian. I have no idea what it means, but it just ranked top 10. I'm like, holy crap, we have a bajillion downloads for Scribby. So yeah, you can rank in all different sorts of places. Every country has a different app store, right? So I don't know if you knew that. So because there are some apps that are only available in the US, or some apps that are only available in Canada.
Not fair.
So
It's when YouTube videos aren't available in Canada. Then I start getting mad. Just let me
well,
see the YouTube
that's
video.
that's what VPNs are for.
Hmm. Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. So what are things to avoid? We wonder. One, avoid overloading features at launch. Avoid launching with too many features at once. Instead, focus on the core functionality that solves the most critical user pain point. This is quite wise, I think. A bloated feature set can confuse users, cause bugs, and slow down development. Start small, then expand based on user feedback. What do you think about that?
100%. If
Yeah.
Facebook, as it was today, was released back when Facebook was released, no one would know how the hell to use it, right?
Mhm.
Just remember when Facebook was released, what could you do? You could write on each other's walls and throw food at each other, and that was about and poke people, and that was it, right?
Poking, yeah.
There was no messaging, there was no feed, there was no. It was just scribbling on other people's walls and stuff. And remember, the first version of Facebook was essentially a ripoff of Hot or Not, right? And so if
Yeah.
you look at the architecture of how things launched, it launches simple, fixes a problem. Again, you're going to try to beat the Google toothbrush test twice a day. And if you can do those two things well, start adding stuff based on user, recommendations, right? But actually run workshops, because users also don't know what they want. If we only focused on what users wanted, we'd have a bunch of really, really fast thoroughbred horses instead of cars. Right.
Right.
So what do you want? Faster horse, faster carriage, better horse. Wait, there's an engine? Holy crap. Right. And so
Yeah.
so you still have to play with the both positions. But yeah, don't overload features at launch. If your app does 87 things, just promote one and make that one super good. You can have all the other features if you want, if you have the budget and the money and the patience to make them all. But just make the one thing work, right? Really, really, really well. And then introduce it, even if it exists. Like I was making fun of that other app where it was 17 clicks later, hey, here's the thing. Dude, that thing was there since day one. We just made it easier to get to, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's a new feature. So yeah.
What's I don't think it goes into this, but what's your thoughts on like a paid versus an unpaid app? Because if you're promoting your business with it, you generally don't want it to be a paid app.
No, it
But if your
depends on
business
the it
is the
depends
paid
on
app,
it depends on the function of the app, right?
right?
So paid app does keep out the riffraff, right?
Huh.
So if it's an exclusive type app, having a paid app keeps the free users away, and the free users are sometimes a leech on your system. So it depends, right? Because if enough free users jump up and down on your server catches on fire and explodes, right? So you also want to just be cognizant of what the function of your app is. Like I'm releasing an app coming up for the B&M brand, but it's going to be free, but then there's paid stuff on the inside, right? So it seems that the model that's won across time has been the freemium model. So you
Yeah.
can download free, it does a bunch of cool stuff. If you wanted to do more cool stuff, now notice how I said it does a bunch of cool stuff, and if you wanted to do more cool stuff, right? Don't give them 3 free faxes and then make them pay for faxes on your app. That's stupid, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, make it so that you don't give away your primary thing. Make it so that it's an actual main function that you give away, but then you make it better with the paid functions, and people will be more than happy to do that.
I don't know. As a user, I don't know if you'd call us happy, but okay, it's like I guess that's fair. You are providing me with a service for nothing here. I should pay you $3 or something.
Well, so I'm building a networking app for B&M, right? That's one of the apps we're building. It's going to be essentially a dating app, but for business. And so if you want to, let's say I'm really good at marketing, but I suck at financial services, come help me because I can't do math. It'll match you up with finance guys who can actually do the work for you. So you can find and hire people or partner with people that do something that you suck at, great. But if I don't like the guy, I swipe left. I like the guy, I swipe right, right? And then yeah, but then you match them, and then hey, you happen to be at the same event together. Hey, cool. Hey, you should meet each other, right? And then we're
What
going to
was
gamify.
Sorry, go on. Finish that thought.
Oh, we're going to gamify the meetings, right? Because people network all the time and they're stupid because they'll go to the boat and they'll collect 87 business cards and then they don't call a single soul. What the hell was the point, right? Like, so we're going to give you magic internet points for meeting people at coffee shops post event because that will actually help your business. Hey, have a meeting after the damn networking event. Oh, look, money rains from the sky. Funny how that works. So,
Right. What was that app we were all on a while ago? It was basically that Tinder for business, but then
that was the one. So
yeah,
I'm
what's it called?
because they died. Oh, I forget what they're called now. It was on the tip of my tongue, but I don't remember now.
Circles, something circles.
Nope, Circle's a different group. Circle's a different group.
Yeah.
Mighty Network's a different group. But anyways, yeah, there was an app that did this exactly. And the hilarious thing is it got overrun by multi-level marketing. Remember our
Yeah.
episode of that? And crypto.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
MLMs and crypto ruined it essentially. So yeah, so I have a way to combat that. So we're going to build it. It's going to be, Mousetrap 2.0. It's going to be much better.
Mm-hmm. Got to remember that. Yeah, we did a whole show on that. That's probably in the lost shows when I went on a whole rant about this person I met on that app who strung me along for like 2 separate meetings and 5 or 6 days or a week of conversation before she didn't even tell me. I had to Google certain phrases she was using.
Yes.
Like I was like, what are you talking about? And I Googled the specific phrase and that
And
got me
then
to a
end up being
forum where
like
someone
Amway or something, right?
yeah, it was Amway. I was like, okay. Anyway,
So.
I could go on and on. We won't do that.
Let's not jump down that rabbit hole. That's a big one.
Right.
So
oh my gosh, we're getting behind here. So number two, neglecting. Oh yeah, just to finish the thought. I'm just glad you're thinking ahead and keeping the MLMs and the crypto bros out. Okay, this is number two of the things not to do with an app: neglecting customer support and feedback loops. Not having an active support or feedback mechanism can alienate early adopters. Ensure you have a clear process to handle user issues, offer FAQs, and act on feedback quickly. Engaging with users directly and showing them you're actively listening can create loyal advocates for your product.
So one of the best practices for everything, actually, this is for real crypto projects. This is for real blockchain projects. This is for apps. This is for SaaS. This is for plugins. It's all the same stuff. Is have an active roadmap that people can see so they know what direction you're going, and allow people to then send you comments, right, privately, so that you don't spam the internet with it. And the hilarious thing is you just pay attention to what the users are asking for. If everybody's asking for the same damn thing and it's missing from your app, there's probably a reason why they want it, right? And so you take a look at that roadmap and you have that active roadmap, at least they know what direction you're going and what feature you're actively working on next. And the hilarious thing, if you do that, it builds community and they get behind you. And they're like, hey, oh my God, they're going to fix this thing that pisses us all off. Thank God. Quality of life goes up. The level of usage of your app goes up. You make this thing better, right? So let's rewind a sec. So the fancy coffee store where we made the app for, the first version could only just take orders for coffee, and that's it. And I'm like, guys, you also sell pastry. Can people not order pastry on this damn thing yet? Oh no, that to do that we have to do this and this and this and this. Just tell people, the ability to order pastries is coming soon, or the ability to pre-order coffee. So you don't even have to stand in line. You just push a button, it goes boop, and your coffee's good to go. You just pick it up and it's got your name on it. Telling people that this is coming gets people excited. And then funny thing is, it gets more people downloading your damn app. And the people who were going to leave, were complaining about it, stay. So it's just as important to shut the back door as it is to open the front door, because you got customers coming in, but if they leave because you're like, I hate this thing because it doesn't do this, yo man, tell them it's coming and they'll stay, and you'll get the chance to keep more of them, right? Because the cost per acquisition to bring a customer in is still up there, right? Even if it's an app, right? Even if it's a free app, you have to pay for the click, they have to like it, They had to download it, they had to use it, and they didn't delete it. So super important to bring those feedback loops in, because then they feel heard. And here's the hilarious thing: when the thing releases, here's the secret trick: thank all the people who suggested it, and now they feel like it's their idea, and they feel like that they're heard and that you implemented it based on their thing, even though 1,000 other people asked for it. So thank them. Hey, thanks for your feedback. Due to your response, we built this. You're welcome. They feel great, and now they're going to tell all their damn friends that it was their idea, that they did it, and they listened to you, and now you implemented it, and now all their friends are going to use the stupid app. Magic sauce. It's just funny how that works.
If Facebook or Google ever came to me and said, "Hey, you know that thing you've been complaining about? We heard you and we fixed it," I would never shut up about that.
Yeah, see,
everyone would hear me all the time.
That technique works. Like, hey, I'm Dan, and I made these buggers keep that stupid button in the same place, and they promised me they'd never move it forever and ever and ever and ever. Amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, what does AI seem to think is a red hot tip for using apps in your business? Gamify onboarding and user engagement with rewards. Interesting. Implement. You were just talking about that, weren't you? Implement a gamified reward system where users can unlock exclusive features, badges, or discounts by completing onboarding tasks, inviting others to download, or sharing the app plugin on social media. This can create buzz and leverage word-of-mouth marketing while encouraging users to engage more with your tech. Create leaderboards or offer incentives for early adopters to build a sense of community and competition, further driving engagement and downloads.
Absolutely, yes. Now, the problem with this is a middle of the funnel solution, right? I was hoping for top of funnel solutions for this sort of thing. Oh, sorry, give me 1 second. I gotta sneeze.
Earl is sneezing, ladies and gentlemen. Sneezing.
So yeah. So this is the middle of the funnel best practice. I was hoping for top of funnel best practices. So I'm not gonna argue it. It is the way to do stuff. If you gamify it and make a leaderboard and tell people they're great and stick them at the top, for some stupid reason, it works on everybody. I don't know why, right? So I fall for this. I fall for this all the time. If I'm on a leaderboard and I'm number one, I will fight tooth and nail to stay number one, right? This was the whole methodology behind, remember Foursquare? And you were the mayor of like some coffee shop or whatever, and you would fight tooth and nail to stay the mayor or whatever, because I'm the mayor.
Yeah.
That works on everybody for some crazy reason. So gamification absolutely works, which is why we're adding gamification to the B&M app, right? So here's the hilarious thing. If a coffee shop happens to be a member or a sponsor of one of our places, one of our things, and you book a meeting at that coffee shop with the person you met on the app, you get more magic internet points, right? So not only do you get the points for having the coffee meeting and extending your business and making it better, you get points, extra points for having it at the coffee shop that's one of our sponsors or one of our community members. So it forces people to want to come to these shops and reward them for doing so.
Yeah, I mean, you got the entirety of Reddit is based on earning karma, which does absolutely nothing for you.
Magic internet points that don't really do anything. Yeah.
All right, let's get on to what everyone's really here for.
Okay, here we go.
Hack of the week.
I like the splatter. Anyway, so hack of the week is the content marketing around the app itself, right? So this talked about doing joint ventures and stuff, but you can do joint ventures with news. Most people don't think about that. So you can get into the news, do a collaboration in the space. There's a couple of websites that like Ask a Reporter or Help a Reporter Out, Haro. And if you do that with the solution of your app in the architecture, and then they publish you, number one, you're everywhere, right? Especially if that gets syndicated and it gets dumped to every news network, you are everywhere all of a sudden. And then your app gets mentioned a bajillion times, right? And the AI, it did mention JVs, but like I said, JV with media, because on a slow day, your stuff takes off like crazy, right? So there was this guy, I'm not going to name names, but he built a new AI tool. And the AI tool was actually fantastic, but he was a crap marketer. So what he ended up doing was he talked to some reporters, showed the reporters, hey, this is what it does. After the reporter picked his jaw up off the floor, he's like, holy crap, man. He reported on that, and now the guy has a bajillion sales. So you can joint venture with media, because on a slow day on news, if nothing's happening, they're going to talk about your little app or your little detail or your little whatever, and you're going to get so much exposure. It's crazy. So don't forget about that. You can joint venture with news media. And if you do that and you do it right, that is the best free advertising and best earned traffic that you can get.
Nice.
So there you go. There's the hack of the week.
Bada bing. All right, everybody out there, do you feel you hopefully we've dissuaded some of you from making an app that you were going to waste a bunch of time on?
Yes,
but
please.
hopefully those of you, yeah, hopefully those of you who see that your app is actually going to pass the toothbrush test, you've learned something today.
Yeah. But before we leave, I want to share with you, probably hands down, one of the single worst app ideas I've ever been pitched. Because
Oh yeah, tell me that.
I still get pitched app ideas. Like, it's been 10 years, guys. I don't make apps no more. I'm gonna make an app for myself, but screw you guys. But so yeah, people still pitch me app ideas, and this was the worst. This is one of the worst. Like, there were a good top 10. I try not to remember them because then I get PTSD. But this was the worst app idea I've ever heard in my entire life. So this guy said he wanted to map out all the grocery stores. So ketchup is on aisle 7, salt is on aisle 3, and have an app that you could just put in what you're looking for, and it would tell you what aisle the thing was in. And if it moved, it would like just auto update on the app. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because have you ever looked up? He's like, what do you mean? Look up, see aisle 7, ketchup. And he's like, oh, I'm going to make millions with this app. I'm going to make millions. He did not. Spoiler alert.
He didn't know those signs were there?
He said no one ever looks at them because he never looked at them.
Huh.
I'm like,
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my connection's cutting out here a little bit. I could see, okay, so you punch in your what do you call it? Your grocery list.
Yeah.
Into this thing, and it gives you the map to go most efficiently through the grocery store and get everything in one shot. Problem is, the grocery stores aren't going to buy into that, because the more you wander around the grocery store, the more you see other things and buy those too. So
yeah, they build it. They built it inefficient on purpose. So yeah.
That's why the stuff you need most is at the back or around the edges. You have to go all the way across all the other things. But you're gonna have to hire people to go around in the grocery. I guess you could ask people to self-report. Hey, I went to find the salt. It wasn't there. I got it's somewhere else now.
But who cares? Is my question.
Yeah.
I asked them, so the average app costs like $5,000 a screen to build. This was about 10, 11 screens. That's $55,000 to build this app. I asked them, how are you gonna make this app? Where's the money? Do you have the money for this? No. How are you gonna get funding for this? Oh, I don't know. I'm like, did you make a business plan? How is this thing gonna make money? Never thought about that part. And I'm like, guy, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen, right? Like don't do this. Please don't make this app.
Yeah.
Right? Don't spend 55. Don't, there's much more fun ways to set $55,000 on fire, right?
Yeah.
So
you at least keep yourself warm.
Even if you burnt it to the ground, you keep yourself warm, and I'd watch that on YouTube, right?
You could roast a marshmallow on it or something.
Yeah, right. Maybe you'd make enough YouTube views that people would pay the $55,000 and make more. Maybe you'd have $56,000 by the time you're done. But that was like one of the worst apps I've ever seen. And like, I get pitched these dumb apps all day long, every day. I'm like, oh, that would be great. Do you have any money? No. Awesome.
We should do an episode where you just tell us all the worst ideas you've ever heard. Although you might end up alienating some of our fan base who pitched you the ideas.
Oh my God, they'll be like, "Hey, I told you that idea." Oh, sorry, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Although knowing you probably told them it was a dumb idea when they brought it to you. So
oh, absolutely. I told them, please don't spend your money on this. Please don't spend your money on this. I know you have money, but even if you have money, please don't spend your money on this. Right? Like,
you didn't get you didn't get to those guys with the virtual porch security app soon or not.
I have no idea how that's going. I haven't talked to them for a little while. But the one that you showed me, that was hilarious. How like 3 or 4 people came up with the same terrible idea, and so yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's a fine idea. You just have to make it not ugly. I cannot sell those things. I haven't given up. He's still got 2 containers full of them. If anybody out there either wants some cages that fold down that you can put on your porch to get packages, or if you have a good idea where I can sell them, please let me know. Asking what they might go for in scrap just to try to get this guy some money.
Yeah, some
But
guy actually released something on Kickstarter that was very similar. It was a folding thinger, but like it had a polyurethane kind of entry point so that you can stick stuff in, but you couldn't pull stuff back out again. And it was super strong. So like you would take specialized tools to rip this thing a new one. And it was opaque, so it looked just like basically a giant mailbox with a funny lid.
Yeah.
And it's on Kickstarter right now. So everyone's trying to make this thing happen because apparently, Amazon packages being stolen are on the rampage. I don't know if you're a fan of Mark Rober on YouTube, but I love that guy. So if you haven't
Is he the
watched
guy
his
with the
stuff,
glitter bomb?
yeah, glitter bomb, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Plus fart spray. It's
glitter
magnificent.
bomb
And
and first spray. Yeah,
he's got like 4 or 5 videos on basically, porch pirates, which is hilarious. So
I like the people who've been emptying their cat's litter box into the Amazon packages.
yes, and then people steal them and take them away. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
beautiful. That's perfect.
It's just chef's kiss. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Love it.
I just
All right.
God, I just realized something. I just realized something else with this package thing.
What's
I
that?
was just thinking of the cage. The bars are pretty far apart. A lot of packages are just envelopes. You could just reach in and grab them.
The other one that's on Kickstarter right now is a solid thing. So yeah, with an alarm system and this and that and everything. Da. So I think it's a better mousetrap. It's still kind of dumb, but whatever. If that helps you, then so be it, right? Yeah. You do realize Amazon has drop-off points at places like business like business solution shops and post office boxes and all that kind of stuff. Where those
Yeah, there's one at my local gas station.
Yeah, exactly. So it's safer. Anyway,
that I swear to God, if we could do a dumb ideas show, that'd be amazing.
oh, that'd be hilarious. We should just collect a whole bunch, and when we have like 30 of them, we should just go ham. So
yeah, I love it. Although the way we just went on about this one you brought up, you can only need about 6, I think, to do the whole show.
well, it depends how much PTSD it brings up, right? So
right,
grocery store guy, I hate you. You live in my head rent free.
Yeah.
All right, should I play us out?
All right, yeah, I guess we'll say goodbye. Thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate you. Thank you, Earl, for the insights. Thank you, AI, for doing the hard work.
Thank you, Dan, for being my co-host. Here we go. I'm playing this out.
See you all next week.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Adios, everybody.
See everybody.
I forget how much bass is in our intro song until I put my headphones on.